at the Bristol Robotics Laboratory in the UK. My area of expertise is swarm robotics, so I'm interested in systems that work in large numbers. And I have 1,000 little coin-sized robots in the lab to think about swarm algorithms, but I also do nanomedicine. Nanoparticles work in the trillions, and I want to understand how to design them so that we can improve the treatment of cancer. So that's my academic hat, and I really care about having more women in robotics with that academic hat. I also have a science communication hat, so I'm the president and co-founder of RoboHub.org, which is a nonprofit to connect the robotics community to the public. And just recently we launched Women in Robotics Slack channel so that we can have lots of women communicating about our fields and networking and really promoting role models within our area.
Hello, I'm Elisabeth Schärtl. I'm working for KUKA AG. KUKA is a robotic and automation company. I'm responsible for innovation management. My main focus are human-robot collaboration and production of the future. My background is mechanical engineering, and I say KUKA is a very traditional mechanical company, and I'm always looking forward that there are more women in. We're around 25% women. It's quite good, but we're in the different fields. Let's say in the robotics there are more women than in the classical production automation. And you can see today we're a good bundle of women, 4 women, 3 colleagues of mine joining us and showing also the robots. So yes, we're quite going up with women, but also, my opinion, more women in tech.
My name is Ayla Kraus. I work for VHTO, the Netherlands Organization for Girls and Women in Science and Technology. The Netherlands is one of the countries in the world with the fewest women working in science and technology. Surprising maybe to some of you, and we're working very hard to change this, starting at a very young age. So we really try to cover the whole spectrum of education, starting in elementary school, going up to secondary school, but also in higher education on different levels, and up to the moment where women make the decision to work in tech or not. And we want to encourage more girls choosing for STEM and choosing for studies in STEM, but also staying in STEM, and that's also the big challenge at the moment in the Netherlands. So at the same time, so that's one hat I have, and my other hat is that I work as a junior lecturer at the University of Amsterdam.
My name is Marjolein Scholten. I have 2 jobs. One of them is I'm program officer at ZonMw in the dementia program, where also robotics can have a place. My other job is we provide technical science and technical lessons for primary school children, age 4 till 12, and I have 3 sons and 1 husband. I'm all between men all the time, so I'm very happy to talk about the women in tech, because I don't like this topic too much to make it as a topic, but the facts and figures, as my other panel member already said, they show that there is a lot to do, especially in the Netherlands.
I'm a man. Hi. My name is Leo Simons. I'm a mission critical engineer at Schuberg, which is a company that deals with difficult enterprise applications, hosts them, 100% availability, that kind of thing, which is a place where we just hired the first couple of women in the engineering department, which I'm very happy with, but it's the first 2. And before, I've been there for 3 years now. Before that, I did work in healthcare and like e-health and innovation, that kind of thing. And the balance was much better there. So it's fun to be back here and actually talk also to women working in technology. And I'm always just looking to understand better what should we be doing differently so that women join STEM or don't leave it. So,
Thank you. Well, it's good to also have a male in our amongst us in the panel. So thank you for the introduction. Now, looking at you, the audience, we have men and women, the two categories that we are listing now. Apparently there are even more. Let's keep it simple for today. So a question: who of the women here are also working in technology? Can you stand up? Please, all of you women. So first of all, an applause for all of you with the panelists. Great. So just keep on standing. I mean, we're walking the whole day. So I'm going to ask a short question if you want to introduce yourself and also tell us what you do.
I'm Dominique Kersten. I'm an engineer in industrial product design, but I left tech for a little bit, and then I returned as a self-taught programmer, and now I work in a technology lab.
Okay. It's good to have you back in tech.
Hi, I'm Belinda. Officially, I'm a system engineer, but now I work as a MySQL DBA.
Sorry, can you repeat?
MySQL DBA. Yeah, I have a great interest for technology and hackers and stuff like that, so I like to meet.
Oh, cool. Thanks for being here. Yes.
Hi, I'm Nadine. I'm working for KUKA, the orange robots, and I'm working in the corporate research department, where I'm actually focusing on social impacts of robotics.
Great.
Hi, my name is Andrea. I am also working for KUKA, the orange robots, and I am working in the innovation management, so we're doing the strategic part of the technique.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Thea, also working for KUKA, also in the innovation management. I am working with the topic human-robot collaboration, and I am focusing on the acceptance of robotics in the human-robot collaboration.
Cool.
Hi, my name is Agnieszka Spańska. I come from Poland, from a research institute, KUKA. And my background is actually humanist, because it's philology. However, I work for the institute that produce robots for anti-terrorism, so, and also for the industry as well. So I'm a little bit hybrid, I would say.
Ooh, special version, a hybrid version. And yeah, I thought you girls would also stand up, or you're not? You don't feel like you're in tech?
I can say,
yeah.
I don't feel like I'm in tech, sorry. I work for ZonMw. We fund a lot of projects with ICT and technology, but to be honest, I had as a education gymnasium Alpha, which is only languages, and then I studied psychology, so I really have no clue about any insights technologically spoken, but I'm very much interested and focused also in the program on the user side and the user aspect and the acceptance. And so that's also an important part of technology, but I'm not technological at all.
Okay.
I can hardly use my new smartphone properly.
Okay. Well, then you should talk to Anita. She will tell you all about it.
I'm figuring out step by step.
Cool, cool.
I'm not a tech at all, but I used to be managing director of a large women liberation platform here in Holland. So I know your difficulties in science, also in acquiring women and also keeping women. At the moment they are getting children, because there are a lot of things going wrong. And with Women Inc., because that was the name of the platform, we took a lot of investments in the advertisement of tech companies, because that's the first entry often for girls. And if you look at the advertisements, there's only men there, so women can't identify with it. And that's where it all starts, in primary school with girls in tech, and later on with girls in tech, and working girls with children in tech. I think that's a point, which helps. Good luck this afternoon. I can't stay the whole time, but good luck.
Well, you're still connected, so even if you will have to leave earlier, we will stay connected. I didn't see you get up. Well, I saw you here with the robots.
And really, because you asked who works in tech, I don't work at all. I go to school. So.
Great.
And to be honest, I do communication in school, so not really tech, but I like techniques. And in high school, I had this. Where I learned how to find a solution for some problems that are actually in the business that are in tech.
Can you name the example?
Well, it's called Technasium. So
Technasium.
And we get those projects, and every period it's a different project. So we have a lot of things be done in high school already. We could sniff on everything. Cool. So that's cool. And now we're with the robotic team. So that's amazing. What we do is that we get a mission from America. And for that mission, we build a robot within 6 weeks, and we do. That's a lot of work, you know that.
Wow!
And that's not only building a robot, but also get sponsors to get to America to be a participant in the competitions there.
Cool.
That's what I do.
Cool. So, and what was your name?
Alana Bosman.
Okay, Alana, can we also have you on the stage here, like this? Even though we don't have a seat available, but we have this. Because I think this is really what it's about. If you're okay with it, right?
Yeah, sure. I'm really honored.
Yeah, of course. So we are honored to have you here because it's nice to, talk about. So I think it's really important that we also represent everyone. So great to have you here. Let's also share the mic. Yeah. Back. Focus. So let's give some attention to the whole women in tech, to diversity. Let's start with that, and then let's see how much we're going to also talk about the technology itself, right? You already started to say something about it, so the question is, we're talking about women in tech, about diversity kind of in general, right? Do we really have to give it a special attention, this whole subject, or do you think, it will solve itself, and is it really a problem? Or what I also hear is, if you say women in tech, or women diversity in general, it almost sounds like you're so, you're so pathetic, and we need extra help because we cannot do it ourselves. I'm just exaggerating here, right? So I hear also from not only men, but also women, very diverse reactions to the diversity topic and how to give it attention. So could you be very clear in what your stand is in this topic? And I would like to start with you, because I think you're one of the youngest here, so you were born in a different moment than the rest of us. So how do you feel about this whole women topic? Is it like bullshit? Should we just shut up and move on, or what?
Well, I definitely think it's not bullshit. I mean, why men? Why? That's the question.
What do you mean, why men?
Why men? Why are we only represented with horses and ballets and?
Oh, you mean the connection with girls liking horses, like horse riding and ballet?
And why is it the men that always like the Lego? I like Lego as well. I hated pink. Really.
It's a lot of people to buy.
But I think we have to start very young. I don't think it's a problem. Okay. It's a challenge, and we can tackle the challenge by starting young, and that's what we're trying to do with Impossible Robotics. we try to make those youngsters really exciting about techniques, and I think that that's the thing that will help to get women into tech.
Okay, cool, yeah, applause, thanks, thank you. And you should definitely connect with the rest as well to just, we all have the same purpose, so.
I think the bottom line is that we're going to be the robot users, and we need the robots to be designed with us in mind as well, which is tricky if the ones designing the robots are mainly men. And I think a good example, which was actually on the Slack channel yesterday, is that if you think of the iPhone, it was advertised as something that fits in your pocket. I don't have any pockets today. And so we just need to be mindful of the products that we're developing because we will be the users. So I think that is where the need for more women in robotics comes from. And I just want to highlight that in a lot of the introductions, the comment was, I'm not in tech or I'm not an engineer. And actually robotics is quite special and exciting in that it does require that breadth of cross-disciplinarity. And so to a certain extent, I'd like everyone to raise their hand and say, actually, I am a roboticist, even though I might not be an engineer. And we have 50% almost of PhD students this year. Because the women who are coming in come from zoology because they're interested in bio-inspired robotics, or they come from psychology because they're interested in human-robot interactions. So those who didn't say they were a roboticist, I think you can claim that hat.
So you are.
Okay.
You are.
So I want to come to our youngest back to your answer. I think was a really great answer because it's my opinion. It starts very early and it starts in the family. To give the girls also the opportunity to be curious also in other things than Barbie or Lego, but it also starts in our society. And what I realized the last years when I look, okay, I have now 17-month old boys, and when I realized, look at the games catalogs, I realized that's for female, that's for male, and I didn't realize that this was in the 80s when I was a child, that this was so deep impact. For example, the surprise egg is now in pink and in normal. The Lego, there's a pink edition, and this is also a thing. What I realized that also in society, more the difference showing up, the difference is more common than 10 years, 15 years ago. And I think also this is a topic because what you said, we have today as women all opportunities. Of course, your actions are perfect because also to bring it in the mind of the parents and everything. But sometimes I have the feeling we don't use it.
So just to go back to your question, what do you think it's, or statement, like, is it still necessary to do anything about this, or should we just wait for it to happen because maybe eventually it will be equal? Maybe it will be, maybe women and men and diversity in a broader sense will be improved in many years, maybe in 2070 or something. But I think that's too long. I mean, I don't think it's necessary to wait that long, and I think it's very painful that if we would wait that long to ignore so many talented girls and women in the meantime. So I think we have the possibilities to work on this together to change this at a faster pace than just waiting and letting it happen and leaving it up to the ones who are in charge right now, who are still mainly men and who maybe are not also aware of this issue yet. So I think from many different levels, from the level of the parents, the teachers, policymakers, recruiters, directors of businesses, we need to work on this together. And I definitely think it's something to work on and not to just passively observe, because I don't think it does justice to the talented technical women out there.
Okay, thanks.
I agree also, because the facts and figures shows there is a big difference. My statement would be, we really need more people in general, but especially women in physics, to save the planet and to have attention for all kind of technical topics we need. So that's my first statement. The other one is we already agreed we should start early And so I would like to ask all the future parents, when you are planning to have a child or a baby, or when you have done the test and there is a pregnancy, please stop dreaming about your baby girl who will become ballet or becomes perhaps a physician or is riding a horse, and stop dreaming about your future baby boy who's going to be a strong and a football player and winning a Nobel Prize on some physics. So please, let's start there. Because when I come in classes and we teach 4-year-olds, they all have the same interest. You can the children who apply for our workshops, it's 50-50%, and they ask the same questions, they choose the same things to do. So please, parents, future parents, because we need all of them. There are still no female bicycle repair women in Holland.
That's scary.
Yeah, that's very scary. Oh, there are?
As a future parent, I will promise to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll hold you to that.
I also don't think of diversity as a problem. I think of it as something that's really fun. So in high school I was in VWO, the highest level of secondary education here, and as you know, there's more girls there than boys. So I was in a class of 22, and we had 4 boys. So I would be the only guy at the party. Which is not always the most fun. It's more fun to have somewhat of a balance. And going to university, I did physics. It flips around, and I have to tell you, a party with only men or boys is no fun either. So I think the same thing is true for work. I think that when we have different kinds of perspective on everything that we do, the result is better. And I think that makes sense in terms of what kind of products that we need, like it doesn't have to fit in your pocket. But I think it also makes sense in terms of technology is the way that we get to change society a lot, right? We say a lot, the software is eating the world, or technology is the way that we hopefully, out-innovate ourselves so we don't kill the planet. So for the things that really matter and for the ways that we can improve our society, we use a lot of technology. And in order to do that, I completely agree, we need everybody.
Yeah. So if you have a question, of course, you can just get up. I would like to also kind of like, what's happening here with the microphone? Okay, so kind of like summarizing and having these different perspectives. How I heard this is that you already started saying, hey, yes, actually everyone is saying we need to give this topic of diversity in general, and then women in tech specifically, more attention to make it happen, to make it happen faster, right? And as a student. How old are you?
I'm 19.
19, okay, cool. So as a student, you're saying, yes, I still see that, and I don't want to have this bias, prejudice, like, oh, I'm a girl, so I have to like pink and have to be into horses, etc. You don't want to be confronted with that. Let's leave it open for everyone. And I hear you say that it's actually a societal design thing, that we're all part of society, men and women, and if we want to have technology and we're all technology users, we have to take all the users' needs into account in the whole design. And I've heard you say that that it already starts with the parents and the education, kind of like the background, who your parents are, where you live, which country perhaps, which class, which means you have, if I may take it a bit broader. And I heard you say that it starts at every level, and you have at every level whether it's children, high school students, young employees, older employees, that at every level you have to still give it attention. Yep. And then I've heard you say that it starts even before your parents, that we all should, as potential, if you're thinking about having children, that it already starts there, to already be aware of not having these biases and putting those on the embryos. So it starts already at a pre-embryo level, I guess. Yeah, and then I hear you as a diverse group here. Thank you for making the diversity. That you're saying it's actually much more fun to have a more equal diversity, whether you're working or studying. That it's just more fun in general, and that it is actually not a problem at all, but it's only better. So, having made a very short summary, what do you guys and girls think? Men are also allowed to say something here. It's not only for the girls, but I see a woman.
Can you stand up? Oh, sure. Who you are? Sure. So my name is Cassie Kalongo, and I work with RoboHub, which is a nonprofit robot-based website. And I guess my question to the panel is, what about mentorship opportunities? I suspect, I work in communication, I don't work with tech, but I work with a lot of, with a lot of researchers, men and women. But I suspect for hiring and retaining women, mentorship opportunities is probably a very big thing, especially in industry. So I'm wondering if there are any examples that could possibly be emulated, or what more could we possibly do? And that's just for the entire panel. Anybody can answer it.
Okay. Can I start answering on this? Because actually this is a really relevant question for us for VHTO. We're starting a mentorship program because I think it's one of the most important things to retain women in science and technology once they've already chosen for it. There's a lot of research showing the importance of role models, so it's really important for girls, for women to see that it's possible, that they are that they're not the only ones, and that there are also other women who are capable of doing this, and that they're welcome in that community as well. Who can support, that there are mentors, role models who can support the younger peers with their choices. And so we're starting this soon. It's still in the beginning stages, but I think it's really important. If you're planning on starting like a mentorship program, I think that's a really great idea. And I think it's also important, if you do that, to keep in mind that there are many different types of personalities within like the people who are interested in STEM, because we have kind of a stereotypical idea also of who is interested in technology, like the stereotypical nerd, whether it's girl or boy. Like that's, it's the kind of the fixed idea that we have, and there might be like the nerds that we stereotypically think of as nerds, but there are also nerds who might like pink and horses, and who still also like to build robots. And I think in your mentorship programs, it's also important to make the match in a way, and to see like which kinds of women you connect to different kinds of girls. Because if you connect like a woman who is who hates pink and horses, maybe she will scare off a girl who does like pink and horses and who still loves programming and coding and technology. So I think mentorship is super important, role models, and also to keep in mind those different personality types, both in the mentorship programs and also in the in how you present your, like, I don't know what your communication branch is, but if you try to give voorlichting,
information.
If you try to provide information about a specific study program, that you also show that there is a diversity not only in gender but also in personality types.
Are examples of mentorship?
I agree, and I think mentorship and role models are hugely important. So I was lucky to have 2 women supervisors during my postdoc, who were, one was at Harvard, one was at MIT. They were hugely successful. They had children, and they were really nice. And I just felt like they were an excellent inspiration to show that you can do it all. And I do have quite a few women in my lab, and I think it has to do with seeing that there are role models that you can emulate, hopefully. So there, as much as we can do to promote women so that they can be visible, be role models, and be mentors, is an excellent thing. So we release every year a list of 25 women in robotics you should know about, which tries to highlight those different aspects, that they're not all from the same field, that they come from different backgrounds, that they are at different career stages, and hopefully that does inspire people.
About the mentorship, it's all. I don't know how it is in other countries, but in Holland, it's in the education system. It's a problem because most of the teachers, especially in primary schools, there are women, and there are not enough male teachers in primary school. But I would be interesting to know how it is in other countries. I always have in my mind that in Finland it's perfect.
Everything is perfect there.
But that should be also maybe in your program, so in the educational system. Please, more models, but then male models.
Trust me, in Germany it's the same. There's also more women as teachers than men, and it's also a discussion there to bring more men into the teaching, back into the teaching, because in former times it was different. To the mentoring, I can say as a student I was there in a mentoring. Unfortunately, when I was a mentee, it was always men, because I make mechanical engineering, and so the women mentors are quite rare. But maybe a good example is what we do within our company right now. We set up a women network within KUKA. It's called Orange Win, and there we are starting here a mentorship. Of course, these are already women who work for a technical company, not all as technicians, but also bring the people together. But it's really, it was last year started, but so there's a lot to do. And I think such an intercompany, or from education to industry, it would make really sense. What you said, setting up also together with industries, to finding mentors within the industries, women, I think this would help a lot.
Would you like to add?
So I don't know so much about mentoring in education or anything like that, but I do know that there have always been great role models in terms of technology. Like the first programmer is Ada Lovelace, right? I was a woman. If you look at where computing started in terms of like calculating ballistic trajectories and dealing with those systems, like the data entry was considered a task for a woman. So I always look at these things, and then I wonder, and it's a question to you: why are those not enough, right? So everybody always looks at Steve Jobs and his, a group of white middle-aged Americans and the iPhone that they made. But if you look a little bit further, there's so many great examples of women that have succeeded and done really well. So
I totally agree.
Missing?
And well, I think Alette, she just left, Alette Klaarmeek, who was managing Women Inc. I think she stressed it really well, and you kind of confirmed this. It's kind of, we as women should work more on our marketing and PR. I mean, the content is there, the history shows. So it's also bringing that more and more out there. There were role models and there are role models. So if we would have to focus on maybe one thing, for me, it's already a conclusion to just show everyone what has been done and is out there. And also to share some personal experience with you, and then I will ask the same from you and the audience. As a woman in tech, I studied computer science, and I thought, like, how did I come about to make the choices that I made? I remember as a young girl, I didn't even think about being girl or boy, but I really liked gadgets, and I would play with gadgets if they were around. And I so remember what you're talking about, the books that you, for the toys that you could pick out. It would be like girls and then the other half boys, and I would be like, well, I actually want to have the other stuff, right? So I do recognize that. But what happened was, from in Holland we had this whole girls in meisjes in de techniek or something, girls in IT. And one of the activities were at the old NEMO. It used to called it was NINT Technologisch Museum in the Pijp, and it was like in my street. And you could just go there, and it was like almost free, and you could play around with all the technology, and it was great. And they had this buurthuis, again, very low level entry. Like I could do these things by myself without asking my parents as a young girl. I would go and enroll for these courses where I started to learn programming, you know. And again, it's, yes, your parents can motivate you to do this, but if it's around you, available, free and easy access, you can do it yourself. Especially nowadays, you have like CEOs that are like 7 years old, I guess. So it's all possible. So that's one, you know, having that around me really helped me. So that's a government policy thing, having that access. Another one was when I studied computer science at the University of Amsterdam. I saw this advertisement of, it was IBM, and they had this mentorship program. And I was like, well, why not do that, right? Let's see what I can teach, what I can learn. So I got this female, she was a project manager, and from time to time we would just have lunch or dinner and then talk about what she was doing and what I would potentially want to do. So I'm really naming these very small, practical experiences which have kind of helped me on my way, right? And I'm really interested if you could share, you here in the panel, what has helped you in your journey until now?
Well, I think that the biggest motivator to get to the team is Henk. Henk is our coach. And I really want to thank him for his excitement about text and to find out stuff, to learn stuff, to see what happens if you do something with text. And actually, that's my experience. So I don't know what you want to say about it.
Yeah.
Well,
introduce yourself.
Yes, I am Henk van der Wal. I am the coach and founder of first robotics competition team, Team 5412 in Possible Robotics. And well, first of all, I want to say I have the same experience as you. As a kid, I went to the Evaluon in Eindhoven from Philips. And you could play around with all the technology and things like that. I was a member of the Young Onderzoekers, the young researcher, where you could play around with all kinds of technology. I walked in the science museum from the university. It was free.
Yeah,
I could play every day with the Wilmhurst generator to create large sparks, high voltage, things like that. Those were the things that inspired me. So, and my parents let me play around with all kinds of electronics technology, which I scavenged from old television sets and things people threw away. About mentorship, I hear a lot, we should do this, or maybe we should do that. Everybody agrees. There's a lot of talk. But First Robotics, I always say, just do it. And First Robotics has been doing this for years. They play a very active part in getting girls into technology. About 30% of participants in the First Robotics competition is female.
Great.
So, and We are the second FRC team in the Netherlands, which is incredible. We are second FRC team, first robotics competition team, which is incredible because nobody knows about this project. Some people know first Lego League, which is a program for elementary school and the first classes of middle school. And it's a great program, which also allows girls and boys to do whatever they want within the team to develop. But there are over 4,000 teams in America. And there are also all-girl teams who build robots in 6 weeks' time. It's incredible. And here in the Netherlands, that's why we call it impossible robotics. It's nearly impossible to get support from the schools, from the government, from the companies. Companies always say, we should get more girls in technology, we should get more kids into the technology. But when we say, okay, support us, that's very difficult. But I am a self-taught hardware engineer. School was difficult for me because of the culture. I couldn't learn anything. So I do hardware engineering. I'm a self-employed engineer, and I just took up coaching because my son asked me. He said, I have this team, and this team, my first team was the first Lego League team with 6 girls and 5 boys.
Okay.
So, and we went. Thank you. We went to a open championship in Florida. That's where we ended up. We won first place award for inspiration. So we were true inspiration to others and to FLL teams in the Netherlands. So, and from there on it just took off. But like I said, just 2 FRC teams. I think these kind of programs, whether it is first robotics competitions or other mentor programs where girls and boys can do whatever they want, it has to be from their own product.
Yeah.
That's important.
Thank you so much, Henk. Henk it was, right?
Henk, yeah, that's
okay.
right.
Thank you, and yeah, this is great. I mean, you're all also invited. I'll tell you at the end, there's another Femtech event, and I think we just should do more of these things. It's 5th of December, the City Hall in Amsterdam. So you're all invited. And yeah, it was great. I'm gonna also ask the other panelists, unless you have something more to say for now, yeah? Okay.
I'm really glad you highlighted that because I think men can also be excellent mentors for women. So it's not just women who should be mentors for women. I also got into robotics through competition, so they're hugely, hugely helpful. I was playing robot soccer at the time, and we did sleepless nights trying to calibrate our little robot dogs so they would go and kick a football, and then we'd cry when they scored. So that's what got me into robots and what got me into making lots of robots work together, because our robot dogs needed to work together to score those goals. So I think that's really, it's a wonderful way to get kids into robotics. I think something I've noticed, I've done a ton of outreach through my PhD and postdoc, and in my PhD I was in a lab that did flying robots. And I had this one event where I had 2 girls and 1 little boy come to the lab, and I spent my whole day pouring my heart out to them. I showed them the robot dogs, I showed them the robot swarm, I showed them our flying robot, and I like the pink, so I had a pink flying robot, and I let them throw this flying robot. I never let the professors do this, but I gave this little girl the robot, and at the end of the day I said, do you want to be a roboticist? And she was like, nah. And the guy was like, oh my god, yes, I want to be a roboticist. And I thought, this is not working. And so when I went to Boston, I was doing these nanoparticles for cancer research, and we did outreach events again, but it wasn't about the tech, it was about making little particles out of foam that would go and kill cancer cells. And then again I asked, and I felt like there was more twinkle in their eyes. I don't have a scientific study to prove this, but it was much more about the thing they were trying to change, how they were going to improve the world, than doing just the tech. So I think the competitions are great, but I really like the competitions like the hackathon that's running right now, where you're trying to improve robots for aging populations, because there we're trying to make the world a better place. So I think that's my little insight.
Okay, so to summarize for myself already is that you're saying we already have the mentorship showing that it doesn't have to be only the women doing the mentorships. It's even greater also when the men do the mentorships and focus also on the girls. And then the hackathons, the games, because then you have like a target where you're working on together and you know what you're doing it for, has kind of helped you. Huh? Okay.
Okay, back to your question, how came I to techniques? It was similar, like you. My dad, he's a mechanic, and he showed me how interesting cars are, and I grew up with cars and I like them, and I want to see behind it, and I got something from my parents. I have to say, they always told me be curious and look behind it, and with this combination, I came to mechanical engineering. But I have to say, I was, as we talked before, I was at a girls' school where the focus was science, social sciences. So it was not the focus, but when you personally are interested in, and when you personally think, hey, it will work, and get it from your parents, try it, and when you fail, that's okay, and this was it. I said, okay, I will try mechanical engineering because I'm interested in techniques. And I didn't fail, thank God, and then I came to KUKA. So I think this is something what needs, what you said, okay, diversity, and not to focus on special girls things and boys things, but I also played with Barbie. But it's also to give the children this open mind, and also, yes, not push them, as you already said, and only to give them the opportunity when they are interested and to accept this.
Okay, yeah, it was already very summarized, but I still will translate it. That's how my mind works as well. I have to. So it's about what you as an individual have, right? What mindset you have and interest and passion, and that you're surrounding the context that you are in, your parents first of all, and then the educational system, that they make the whole field open for you, like anything is possible, doesn't matter what gender you have, and then when you do show some interest, that it's made also easier. Like for example, for me it was also having very close by free access, coming from my parents are from Turkey, so when they were here, we didn't use money for these things. If it's free, you go. If it's not free, you don't go. It wasn't like it was like a gender thing. It was more like an economical thing. So I think that's also really important. Thank you for that. Yes.
Well, I'm actually one of those women who has a technical background and also decided to not go into technology. So yeah, I had like...
This is also, I mean, it's not only when you're working, building Arduino, it's not...
No, that's true, but I mean, yeah, I had high grades for like math and physics in high school, then I studied biology, then neuroscience, and then had the opportunity to do a PhD and made the really hard decision to not do a PhD. And I think that for me, one of the things that played a role is that I felt like, well, it depends on the field, but I felt like neuroscience was such a kind of ivory tower field, or I felt like it was really isolated from society, and at least doing research, not necessarily even the field, but doing research. And I felt like even though I have like a scientific mind and way of thinking, I don't feel like that's the best way for me to apply it. And I think that a lot of young women who are choosing or not choosing for science can relate to this feeling. Also guys, but yeah, I know guys who also have this feeling. But I think it's important for women especially, like or also yeah, for communication people to a bit more and to connect more with the world outside of science, and yeah, to be a little less isolated, and maybe it goes a bit more organically in fields like robotics. I'm not a robotics expert, but it's possible that it's more already like very applied and very targeted towards what is necessary in society. But yeah, I think in science in general, this or like the technological, the STEM sciences, this would be good. And also to like for younger girls, I think it's really important to give them like hands-on experiences, to not just say like science is important in society, but to also have them experience it and like show them that is important through like competitions or like teamwork, and to show them that different kinds of skills are necessary and that it can really, that technology can really make the world a better place.
But whoa, by making it more practical in the now, like what is it now? Because talking about it in abstract meta terminology is not really understandable for the majority of the people, I guess. Is this okay? It sounds weird. Should I? It's okay. Is it okay? I'm too close. Okay. So thank you for that. Interesting that you're working on also looking how to have more girls and women interested in the whole science and technology, and keeping them there, and having your perspective of that. You're saying, I don't feel like I'm continuing into technology, so that's interesting to have that perspective, which is great.
Yeah, I think I understand well like what the reasons are also for I think women are as capable as men to continue into it, but I think it's also there's a system around it that does not necessarily encourage women as much to continue into science.
So, and also the cross how do you call it, cross-border, cross-functionality with science and technology, with sociology, social what?
Sociology, or
man, that's a difficult word. So
making it more interdisciplinary.
Interdisciplinary, and we already heard in robotics it's already. So maybe we can also have the next.
Okay. My personal inspiration, probably I'm the oldest in this panel.
And you look the youngest, I don't know how you do it.
Wow. So my inspiration is, since technology in the last decades, I had this taught by my children, is going exponential. So we are in such an extremely exciting period. And the development will go faster, faster, faster. So this gives me my inspiration. And of course, the 4-year-old or the 6-year-old who is running after the workshops, is running to her parents with some strange-looking product, which is an electrical thing. And she shows, oh, look, now what I want to be is, I really know now what I want to be in the future. It is... I want to invent things. And the mother or the father is looking, okay, what's this? That's great, son or daughter. So that's my inspiration, the children and the exponential developing.
So my guess would be that anybody that has some inclination to get into STEM when they're 3-4 years old, the spark will be there at some point. If you're lucky enough to live in the Netherlands and not be in the poorest 10%, probably at some point you get to see Angry Birds and think like, how does this work, or can I deal with it? Like my reason to get into technology was that I couldn't beat my brother at computer games, and so I had to figure out how to cheat. And so then, 30 years later, here you are. And I think we offer a lot of these sparks, but then what happens along the way is the positive or the negative reinforcement. And so you had a bunch of answers that are about motivation, right? So motivation to do one thing and motivation to do another thing. And it sounds to me like the motivation of, well, it's applied, or it's useful, or I'm respected for it, or I get positive reinforcement when I do this stuff. Like, those are the kinds of things where we lose people. And so I'm in IT because when I did things, people, yeah, thank you, please do more of that. And I was like, oh, that's really fun. And I guess when like if I had had that for philosophy, then I probably would have studied that.
Okay. Positive.
Yeah.
I want to ask these young guys, how's your English? English or Dutch? Engels of Nederlands?
Nederlands, maar ik ging naar Engels. I can reis in half English.
Okay. Can I start with you?
Okay.
Okay, so do you have any idea what we're doing here? Like what we're talking about? It's okay if you don't.
About robots?
Yes, that's great actually. That's boys and robots. Does that
No.
Does it even matter?
Just that they make them.
They make them?
Yeah.
Do you think that if you look at, your friends, is it more the boys that are interested or the girls are interested, or are they both interested in robots?
I don't see that, so.
Okay, applause for that. You don't see that. I see it. That's for me, it's positive. It's a good thing. And how about you? You can say something else. Hè? It's not like a right or wrong. En je kan ook gewoon Nederlands praten. Dan vertaal ik het wel.
Oh ja.
De vraag is, we zijn hier, we hebben het hier over robots, inderdaad. We're talking about robots. We hebben het hier ook over meisjes en robots, en jongens en robots. Wat vind je daarvan? Zie jij bijvoorbeeld jouw vriendjes en vriendinnetjes, hebben ze allemaal interesse in robots? Of hebben meisjes meer interesse in robots? Of jongens? Wat denk jij?
Nou, op onze school hebben ze allemaal, want
nee, het is raar, maar maakt niet uit, toch? Het is gewoon even... Oh, wil je het zonder een microfoon? Oké, ik zal het wel vertellen, ja?
Maar ze hebben er allemaal wel tussen. Bijvoorbeeld ook hier een workshop over robots. En daar waren niet alleen maar jongens, gewoon eigenlijk meer meisjes.
Oké, kan ik het even vertalen? Hoe heet je eigenlijk?
Safir.
Safir and?
Sander.
Safir and Sander. So Safir was saying that actually they had this robotics workshop some time ago, and there were actually more girls at the workshop than boys, and they don't really see the whole girls-boys thing. So I think that's really positive. It's already working. Super. Yeah. So anyone else before we wrap up? Yes, please. Can you introduce yourself?
Yes, my name is Rainer Bischoff. I'm also with KUKA. I'm not wearing orange today, so sorry. But my question is actually, so what should your male colleagues or your peers or even your superiors do to support you? Is there anything that you would expect from your colleagues, from your male colleagues?
You should accept women in tech, because I have the experience that a lot of male colleagues, they're looking at you like, what are you doing here? And you're saying something and they're looking at you like, you don't have a, what are you talking about? You have no good knowledge of all the topics and stuff like this. So I have the experience that there are like these these prejudices, that women just can't do the technical job as good as men do. And I can't understand that, because I had once I had the experience in a meeting, and I was like saying one sentence and one man was looking at me like, okay, back to the topic, and I was like, okay, thank you very much. So I think we should start also at the children's age to just make no differences between I don't know, women have to be just in the kitchen and they can do the technical jobs. That's for me, that's the topic. Rainer is doing very well. He's doing very well.
And that's actually great. I'm going to give you the microphone. I think that's really, 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 really important to have, yes, female role models, and also have male role models who are helping us all. It's not just helping women, it's helping society, right? Can I first give the word to this lady? Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Eve, and I'm a toy hacker actually. I'm an artist, designer, and yeah, I make automation installations, kinetic installations, like the Barbie Peep Show in the ZonMw.
Okay, can you at the same time come and... Oh, because I think you should also be here. We're talking about you, but you have to talk here. Are you okay with sitting here?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So at an early age I dismantled everything, like the most of us, and later I put it together and it works again. That was promising. So and now as an artist I was asked to do workshop for kids, and they especially asked about techniques. So I went to workshops with projects, and now I am working in a makerspace. And I have every Wednesday we have a workshop.
Okay, here in Amsterdam?
In Amsterdam, ZB 45.
ZB 45?
Ja, Zeeburgerpad 45. Het is een makerspace. Het is heel klein, maar heel gezellig. En daar kan je eigenlijk alles leren wat je zou willen. You can learn there everything that you want. And so I started with groups of 8, max 10, because it's intensive. And there are mostly boys coming. That's a bit disappointing. I give a discount to girls, but that doesn't matter.
Discount is not free?
No, it's not free.
Oh shit!
You can come with your stadspas.
Okay.
I cannot translate that.
Yeah, city pass.
A city pass. Yeah, you can. We pay a part, and the city pays a part, and you yourself pays. You pay 10 euros for the 12 lessons.
Okay. Oh, okay.
So it's very cheap. So since we did that, now the next year is also booked.
Oh, cool.
But yeah. And then I thought, okay, I was working with Arduinos. That's the first step. So for my installations, I started to automate with Arduinos, and I had to code. And I said, yeah, well, what's coding? I don't know. I'm 53. So I started my own group. I invited a teacher, a female teacher, to teach us Python. So, and the first weekend I put it online, that the course was open. It was immediately booked.
Cool.
In 2 days it was full. We had 10 female
teachers?
No, students.
Students.
And it's going on and on and on, and every time it's fully booked, every time. And so there's a big demand for that.
Okay,
and we discovered that girls actually are better in coding in some ways.
We're more perfectionistic. So
right, we're more precise. We have more geduld. What's geduld? Patience. We have more patience, we're more precise, and we have more focus.
Yes.
For a long time. And you need to put your wekker, your alarm to tell you, okay, there's you've been busy 50 minutes, now you're gonna drink something, okay. Otherwise you're in the flow and you're not coming out, and you forget to eat and to drink and to sleep. So yeah, and now I'm at a hackathon. I still don't know a lot about coding, but I know how you can able something.
Yeah, so this is actually another subtopic that we actually also were discussing just before we started. That in general the difference between men and women, which is a statement, so if you feel differently about it, please let us know. That women can be so, like, when a woman is asked something, it's like, yeah, no, I'm not an expert, you know.
Yeah, uncertain.
And then the guy is like, I heard a little bit out of it. Yeah, let me do it, right? There is this whole attitude, mentality in general, where guys are like, oh yeah, I can wing it, you know. I'll just say whatever and I'll do it. Whereas women in general feel like they have to be the expert before they will say, yes, let me do it. Who disagrees or agrees? Agrees, yes.
My name is Marjolein van Akker. I studied chemical technology 30 years ago, 30 years ago, and I recognize fully what you state. And the problem is that is sometimes in the working situation difficult. To come back at the question which was just posed, what is important that the men also realize the difference in behavior, like you just stated, between the two genders. And that they don't think, oh, she's very uncertain or whatever, or even the man already stands up and say, I can do it, while the woman is more shy. So it is very important not only that the women take the proper action to start this type of studies, but that the men make use also of the differences. Each gender has its own characteristics, and altogether we can make the best team. Let that be realized more by the men. And I can recommend a book which I read some years ago. It's not a glass ceiling, it's a sticky floor. that is a very good book which very clearly describes the problem. It was for me a recognition of the problem and eye-opening.
Great, yeah, I think it's good to again, I'm happy that you recognize it. And I would like to add to that, yes, it's something that men should be more aware of, but also women should be more aware of. And more importantly, that we ourselves should be aware of, because it's also about empowering yourself and sometimes getting out of that comfort zone, and maybe when you feel like you don't want to raise your hand that you do.
From one side, I fully agree with you. On the other side, it shouldn't be that you have to behave as a man in order to be able to. And personally, I'm now in this situation. I worked for 30 years in technology, and I want to switch to a more social environment because I see it only business and social things is much less. I miss that such that I say I'm looking to a position now where I can use my experience, which I achieved, but can have more human contacts also, let me say it like that.
Okay. So anyone who's interested in having this lovely lady in their team, know where to find her. You'll be here, right? Yes?
I agree with you. I think we should bring more hybrids. Yes. I think we a lot of people have multiple interests, and also they're not just tech or just this, just that. And so I think there should be more acknowledgement of being hybrid, and that will also change the culture. And also with regard to what you were just saying, I know there's been a study when girls take tests and they're not sure about an answer, they'll leave it blank, while boys will actually guess. And it gives very different results. And even amongst the gifted, the women and girls tend to have more of the imposter syndrome, where they think that when they're successful it's just being lucky, and they're very scared that they actually don't know what they're talking about and that they'll be found out. So they're completely gifted, but there's still this imposter syndrome. So I think what a few of you have been mentioning is that you've actually caught on to tech by doing it in like just in a playful environment where there's no pressure, there's no you don't have to achieve, or you're not graded, and so you're just doing it, and without thinking, can I do this? You're just doing it, and then so you can build upon your experience to say, oh well, I've done this, so apparently I can do it.
Well, I'm not agreeing on that one. Behavior is specifically gender specific, but of course you can see more what is more for what is a man behavior we call more for a woman. but I think it's also about how society works, how from you're raised from little age to try out something or just break it completely, that and put it together. It's like, yeah, but as a girl, you know, they got encouraged to not do this for a little age. So when you grow up and you become an IT or yeah, that what you told, it's like you're unsure what you're doing, even if you don't know what you're doing. So, and I don't think so. It's if I stand up and say, it's like, hey guys, I can do that. It's not particularly guy behavior. It's just me who say like, hey, I can do that, and I know, for example, sometimes people doesn't know what you're talking about or something. That's not the way how it's done. And so yeah, that was about it. So I think it's a personal thing. So.
Thank you so much. Anyone else? Yes.
So one of the strategies that I was reading about is called amplification, and this was something that was created by the female staffers that work in the White House with President Obama. So they would, so if you were in these meetings with primarily men, and the women who would bring up ideas and topics, and another woman would actually talk and essentially amplify it and say, oh, okay, yes, and then talk about their idea. So that's something that you guys could actually do. I was thinking about the KUKA team of how you could support one another. You could actually use something that's the amplification. So,
thank you,
yeah.
Thank you. And I think in general what I see is that we could make these interconnections if they haven't been made already, because we have here a great example of a girl who's just doing it and who's doing great things. So if you're looking for girls like her, you can contact her, right? And through her a bigger group. And same for you with your research and with the different. What's the cross-border? What was it called again? Yeah, thank you. Interdisciplinary. So I think here we can already share here, but also with the whole audience. We could already share. You know, you're looking for mentorships maybe, or offering mentorships, making a connection with the available activities that are already going on here in VHTO. It's done in Holland, but I'm sure in Germany there is also something like that. So that's already a possibility. Now to wrap it up, is there a last a question or remark? What I would like to ask you, sorry, I'm just going like this and that. I would like to know, to wrap it up, what can you do now, today, in this whole women in tech, women in robotics? Like very practical, now, today, not like big programs, we're gonna write this strategy. No, just now, today. And hopefully very short, so we can wrap it up.
Well, for example, you could sponsor us. It would be really nice. I mean, we have to go to America, and it costs lots and lots of money.
How much do you need?
Now we're looking for between 10,000 and 15,000 euros together
15,000
in total.
Okay.
But we're on our way. So
cool.
I think for now that's the most practical thing to do.
Cool. I like that. Very practical. 10 or 15,000, so these girls can go to America and create robots in 6 weeks. I'm sure there are fundings here available. Good.
Really nice.
Okay, we're gonna make it happen. Yes.
I think we need to be positive. I haven't had many barriers getting into this field and continuing in this field, and I think we just need to tell all the women who are starting out that you can be anything that you want, because there is definitely a pathway.
And what do you specifically need for what you're doing?
More women in robotics?
Okay, so please enter the research.
Okay, what can I do now? I only can offer to contact me. I'm working in industry, I'm doing mechanical engineering, and to be there, I'm really open to have the discussion continuing, women in tech, and also when somebody says, hey, I want to see more about you, I'm sorry, I can't say I can give you a funding, even I come from industry, because I'm not in the role to do this, I have to check this, but to contact me personally when somebody's interested in, or when you have people, even Netherlands, it has to be European-wide, and so I really can offer. Contact me if you have somebody who is interested in techniques, who wants to come to see or want to meet, talk about it. This I can offer today.
And I don't know where the other is. Could I borrow it for 1 second?
Yeah, of course.
Could you, for example, also, just to practically start, offer a mentorship where you say, well, I'd like to try it out to be a mentor?
Yes, of course.
Cool.
That's really...
Would you be interested in a mentor at KUKA?
Well, I think it would be really interesting, yeah.
Okay, so we would be, she's great. I don't know, she's gonna be our Elon Musk, that's for sure. Okay, and what do you need? So you can offer, for example, a mentorship. What do you need? KUKA, women, tech, robotics.
KUKA needs more women for sure.
KUKA needs more women. So there's a lot of opportunity
we
to
in
work.
our innovation management, we are starting with our colleagues. So we are, I think, the only technical department within KUKA where the majority are women.
Cool.
Even the background is not technical, but we were working on it.
Okay.
But we are 5 people and 2 men, so we're in a good way.
Okay. And let's distribute that around the whole organization.
And what personally, or from my experience, what need companies to get more women into it? And this I realized by myself. Bosses who accept that women are different. Yes, best practice is...
we have our periods every month. We're different. Okay.
Almost that. No, it was like, I was last year in maternity leave, and I said I want to come back as fast as possible. And in German we have a really very good system to have maternity leave, to work part-time in maternity leave and everything. So the politics does everything, but you also need the bosses who support this, and
very important.
Yeah, luckily I have a boss who supports this, and also with home office and all these new kind of working.
Yes,
helps us to come back in techniques, what you said, and also to stay there.
Very important. I'm glad that that you also mentioned this, because this is very practical, and I think at the same time not only supporting women.
No,
but also men, because you know we have men saying, I have my daddy day, and I'm like, what? You're a babysitter for someone's kid? You're a daddy the whole time. But they call it daddy day.
Maybe a funny example. Some years ago, I was sitting there in a project with colleagues, and there in Germany, the new maternity leave for men was established, and they were sitting. Let's say they're 50 plus. What damn, now we have no calculation with men anymore. In former times it was only with women because they're going to maternity leave. Now men also going to maternity leave. And thank God within KUKA, the men, they are really active going into maternity leave, minimum the 2 months what is offered, but also longer, or do part-time in maternity leave. So there's, thank God, a change. But the bosses have to change their mind also.
Okay, in summary, on a national government level, but then practically on a local level, it's the companies supporting that.
We as a community, but so...
What you, at VHTO, what you need and what you can offer, like practically today, you know, just very practical.
Yeah. Well, what we can offer, for instance, is a connection between companies and schools.
Okay.
So to give girls this first-hand, hands-on experience of what it's like to have a technical job. So we have, for instance, every day Girls' Day. That's something we organize actually in Germany. It's also really big, with thousands of girls who visit companies, and they can see what's going on in this company. They meet female technical employees. If you're interested, if your company might be interested in Girls' Day, in showing girls what you do, then you can sign up for Girls' Day. It will be next year in April.
Okay.
And also for women working in technology, they can be our role models. So we have women working in STEM, going to schools, talking about what they do with girls, so that girls can ask them questions also. What it's like what is it like to work in STEM, but also what is it like to be a woman in STEM.
Okay, cool.
So yeah, we
So
can
could all
offer
here
these
be-
connections. And I think what we need is, I think it might be more broad than today, but what we need is more an engagement in general also, and like a continuation of the importance of that the government accords to this. Like the government can say like, okay, now we're done, more girls choose STEM topics in school, so we're done here, and they'll probably continue in STEM. That's not true. We really need to continue supporting women along the chain, and yeah, there might be more women choosing for STEM now, but the chance is big that they will drop out at some point, and we need to prevent that. So
so it's a continuous process.
It's a continuous process, and for that, I think that the first step is also that men, like the man who was asking this question, ask what can we do? Like what is how can we help? And I think this is hugely important. I think that's really the first step, that men are also engaged in this. This is not a women's issue. This is a societal issue, and especially now that men are more often at leadership positions and they are the ones choosing who is working for their company, I think it's really important that they invite women to apply for certain positions, for instance, because women might feel more insecure to do that. I think it's what your colleagues were mentioning, like in meetings, like listening more to what women have to say, ask them specifically how they feel about it. I think those things are really important, and I also want to thank you for asking the question. I think that's already a great step.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay, so what I'm going to do on Monday and what I can offer is coming to your kids at school between age 4 and 12 and let them have technical experience, and the students from the technical the male students from the Technical University Delft, they will come and they will be the role model, and they will help them to have their experience. What I need is you.
Yep.
What was your name again?
I'm Alana.
Alana. I need Alana to Monday to help.
Monday I got class, sorry.
Okay, so she's already booked on Monday.
But I have a card, so
Yeah.
if you want to...
Yeah, that's great. So I need Alana and a lot of Alanas, and also male Alanas, to go to the schools to teach the 4-year-old. Not to teach, but to have them have the experience, to let them practice with lots of things.
Cool.
Technical
So Monday you need Alanas to teach, like a mentors or teachers, right?
Yeah, and I will also try, because the maternity leave for fathers in Holland is, wow, it's now from 2 days, it's now 4 days.
Oh my God.
So
shouldn't be more than that.
There's something else to do.
Yeah, so we have to work on that for sure. Yeah. Yes.
I've got jobs on offer.
Okay, what was it? Which company again?
It's called Schuberg Phyllis.
Schuberg Phyllis.
So you can never remember that, but we are always hiring permanently.
So could you
system
maybe,
engineers,
in change for this advertisement for your company, miss say 10 to 15,000 euros to sponsor these girls, so they could come and work at Schuberg Phyllis?
I will try and find that out.
Okay,
I
when?
have a business card if you want.
I love this.
I already have one.
Yeah, but it's better to have two than none. Okay, so it's almost done, huh?
And the other thing is, at our company we do have pretty good facilities for hosting events and catering and stuff like that. So we host, for example, there's an organization called Girl Geek Dinner that happens a couple times. Most of that is in Eindhoven, but we hosted one in Schärtl, which is just south of Amsterdam. Happy to do something like that again. Yeah. Also for other kinds of meetups like Rails Girls or those other kinds of events. If you need a space and catering and stuff like that, we can do that at really low cost. So happy to do that.
Cool.
And then the thing that I need is, I guess, to stay uncertain. So I think in science, there is like always this scientific proof, and you have this pressure to step up and say it's like this, but that doesn't work. You have to accept uncertainty and know that you don't know, and the same is true in a lot of technology. So it cannot be the case that you have to say, I know this and I'll step up and let me just tell you. That's like usually very bad behavior. It's much better to say I don't know and let's try and figure it out. So don't
that's
change
already the female mentality, like
well,
sure.
I try to be that way too, right?
So stay hungry, stay foolish. Yeah, good to have you. Yes, tell us. What do you need? What do you need? We can make it happen here.
Yeah, well, since I was giving these classes on Wednesday, it is a very small group every week. So the transfer is limited. And I started thinking, what can I do about it? Because my lessons are very popular. It's a basic need for tech instructions and get to know it. And I start to make a book with projects. You can follow the instructions. But it was a lot of work, a lot of designing. That's okay, but then I thought, well, if I do it in one project at a time, and I put materials with it, and I make a video, an instructional video, and I do all this, and I make a community online. I did that. I made a website, a membership, and you can ask questions, and you can upload your projects, and you can comment and help each other with the forum. But
what is it that you need or you have to offer?
Yeah, so I made a box. I designed a box and I put all in and the instructions in it and the video links. And then I discovered, okay, there is a problem. The spreading is a problem because you need a barcode. Wow.
Wait a minute. It's a very practical thing. You have a physical box.
Yeah.
And you have all this information so people can receive it.
You can buy it.
You can buy it, and then you can work with the stuff out of the box.
Yeah, you have to solder it and glue it and stuff, and then you have a project. And
so what do you need? I'm trying to help out here.
I need a manufacturer who will develop it with me, because on my own I have too much problems.
Okay, a manufacturer to make the box, to what? For what?
To guide it and to help and overcome the problems that for me are big, but maybe for a manufacturer are easy to solve.
Okay, so if anyone already, I'm thinking KUKA, but maybe not, I don't know.
The distribution and
we are not a producer, we just do production automation.
Okay.
So we can help you when you want to automate something, then we're...
Yeah,
so let's if someone else is not rising here, let's talk some more. Oh, there is a... Can you just come up here? I'm tired. Tired, man. Come here.
So you got the problem with But so you got the problem with producing it and print it out and etc. Or editing it.
I have all the input, but met the materialisatie, that's a thing. To get it in the shops and to get it to the standards that the shops want to and all that.
Okay, because I've worked that book with...
Okay.
So I worked that book business for a while, so I might help you with.
Okay, great.
And so.
Great. So you guys can, yeah, exactly. Applause. Thanks for that. So. Exactly. We started with a little bit late, so 50 minutes later, so that's why we're ending a bit 50 minutes later. First of all, before I forget, I want to invite all of you and you to the Femtech event on the 5th of December in City Hall in Amsterdam, where we have servants pitching all these issues, problems that they're working on, and then we have corporates or foundations or startups or scale-ups, academia, students, you name it, who all present solutions, and then we also find investors so they can, because you always need money to make it happen. So you're all invited, first of all, and then I want to have a huge applause for everyone. We have some flowers. Is anyone gonna help out? No one? Yeah, can people help out with the flowers? Because we have flowers for the panelists and our spontaneous panelists as well. Thank you so much. Yeah, flowers are coming still.
Why flowers, not some geek tool?
So KUKA is gonna give you all robots, I hear.
Just a final short word from my part.
That's typical now for women. I would have expected differently.
As well for the flowers.
Arduino. Some Arduino construction kit.
Yeah. Yes. So you want
Okay. Yeah. Just to be short, what we need, it's not only practical money, of course, but something even simpler in practice. What we do is the best kept secret in the world. So we need our story to be told. Let the world know that there is Dutch FRC.
So on the 5th of December,
yeah, we will.
She's gonna tell the story.
We will be there. You can count on that. So put it on your website, on your socials. That's how you can help. And it doesn't cost any money. Another thing, what we can do, what we can offer. I heard something about going to schools. There is this American team. It's called Team Exploding Bacon. What's in the name? And they have this Spark Kit. We did a Dutch translation for them. The Spark Kit is a simple science kit for elementary schools. And they go with the kit and with their robots, they go to the schools and let the kids play with the robots, tell the stories about the team. And then they go work with the science kit and they leave the kit behind. It's a very cheap and simple science kit. We have one of those kits from them in the Netherlands and we want to develop it further. And we did a translation. So what works over there can work over here as well. So that's what we can offer. And I leave you with a wonderful story. There's another great team. It's called the Pink Team. They are all dressed in pink, men and women.
Okay, great.
So,
and we have the LGBTQ community probably as well. I want to. Thank you for that. I want to ask everyone to come to the stage. So we're going to have a group picture because it's about doing everything together, right? I mean, we have a great panelist, extremely valuable, spontaneous panelist, and it works with everyone. It's about you as well. So please come to the stage so we can have a group picture.
Hier tussen. Ja, of je moet er overheen stappen.
Hier tussen.
Ja, wel.
Kom nou.